Today we are going to make a noodle kugel. Now for those of you who live in New York, you know exactly what a noodle kugel is. If you don't live in New York, there's about a 50% chance you have no idea what it is. And it's really a very tasty little treat. It's a dessert. It can be a side dish. It comes from the Jewish culture. And the name Kugel comes from the German word, which is actually Kugel. Kugel means a round ball. And this is a dish that was cooked in a round pot, dumped in a stew, and it started out as a dumpling. It was bread and eggs that would make a dumpling, and they'd put it in a pot, and then they'd cook it in the middle of a stew. It actually made its way over from China because China originally created dumplings, and that's where everybody started doing dumplings. It made its way to Germany, made its way to France, it made its way to Spain, and then up to England and over to the US. And over time, kugels, or kugels as they pronounce it in Poland, have evolved. They started out as a savory dish. Just some eggs and some bread made a dumpling. Then they were made with noodles, they were made with cheese, they were made with eggs, they became savory. Potato kugels are very popular. They have salt and pepper in them in addition to the cheese and other stuff. It's all very good. What we're going to do today is a noodle kugel. A noodle kugel is very sweet, and it's made out of noodles and some kind of fruits. I like to use apples and raisins. It's got eggs, it's got sugar. Some people put cottage cheese in it, and it's a good dish, and I like to have it as a snack once in a while. It's great for breakfast if you just heat it up and have it with coffee. Anyway, it starts out with noodles. You want 8 ounces of noodles. This is a 12-ounce package, so we're going to use 2/3 of this package, and we've got to boil some water. We're going to cook them up and get them soft.
You should have known from the start, darling.
Okay, when the noodles are cooked, you drain them well, and then you make the rest of the mix for your kugel. Break 3 eggs into a bowl and beat them up. Oh, so you think you're tough, do you? Huh? I'm gonna beat you up. Okay, into these you add a 1/4 cup of melted butter, a 1/3 of a cup of sugar, and now you can add in your drained noodles. These are somewhat cooled. They're still steaming, but you don't want them super hot or you're going to wind up scrambling the eggs, so don't do that. Then you add into this a 1/4 cup of raisins, and take 2 apples and chop them up. I used Granny Smith apples here, and we chop them into little pieces. We're going to throw those in a minute. First, put in a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Not everybody uses vanilla. I like the flavor it adds to the kugel, so we're going to use that. Now we chop these apples up, put them in some water so they don't brown. I'm going to drain them. I like the Granny Smith apples because they're kind of tangy. They make for a nice little dish here. Mix this all in. Now another word for a noodle kugel is a noodle pudding, and they're essentially considered nowadays to be baked puddings. As I said, when kugel was originally started, they weren't even baked. They were steamed in a stew pot. Now they're baked, and they're very good. All right, take this, pour it into either a greased baking dish, I like an 8x8, or you can take a baking dish and line it with parchment paper like we did. We tend to line everything with parchment paper because it's really easy when it comes to cleanup. Even this whole thing out. Sprinkle some cinnamon on the top. I would say that winds up being about a ½ teaspoon of cinnamon, but you don't have to measure it. Then you put it in the oven at 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Noodle Kugel here. A little bit sweet, not super sweet, but just enough. It's got the tanginess of the apples and the raisins, and it goes really good with coffee or tea. Perfect. I like this. When I make Kugel, I don't overdo the sweetness. I like it just slightly sweet. I love the tanginess in here. It gives it that. I don't put cottage cheese in it because I just think that's excess. I like just the noodles, the eggs, the fruit, a touch of sugar, the cinnamon flavor. It gives it a nice taste, and it tastes light, it tastes clean, and it's good. You could use more eggs.